Hello, welcome to the video. Before punk exploded in 1976, Dr Feelgood were already doing most of it. No frills, no pretension, just raw stripped back rhythm and blues that gave British rock a good kick up the whatsits. Dr Feelgood's sound, and especially Wilko Johnson's guitar style, directly shaped the attitude and approach of Britain's early punk bands. This is the story of how a group of misfits from Canvey Island in Essex helped change rock music forever. Dr Feelgood didn't come from London or Manchester or any fashionable music scene. They came from Canvey Island, a strange, isolated working-class outpost on the way to Southend-on-Sea, surrounded by oil refineries, estuary mud, and a skyline that looked more industrial than musical. And that environment shaped everything about Dr Feelgood. Harsh, unromantic, gritty. In the early 1970s, British rock was drifting off into long solos, mellotrons, and 20-minute prog epics. Meanwhile, Dr Feelgood arrived like a fist through a velvet curtain. Wow, that is it? I don't know. They actually started as a jug band, then backed Joe Meek's pet rock and roller, Hines.
Oh, come on, everybody, let's get together tonight.
Before deciding to take on the London pub rock circuit on their own terms. Places like the Kensington, the Tally-Ho, the Lord Nelson and the Hope and Anchor became their battlegrounds. They quickly became the band you had to see live, overshadowing scene favourites like Brinsley Schwartz, Beats Make Honey and Ace. The shows were intense. 90 minutes, no pauses, no toilet breaks, just attack after attack after attack. I saw Dr Feelgood in the very early days, and I think I saw them, I think I've said this in another video, at the Lord Nelson. It might not have been, could have been at the Kensington, and it was like, people told me they were good, but a lot of people said a lot of things about a lot of bands, because there's so much good stuff happening then. The first chords, the minute they, like 1, 2, 3, 4, you knew something different was happening, something exciting. They digged relentlessly across London and the southeast, especially Essex, building up a reputation the old-fashioned way. For audiences used to gentle country rock pub bands, Dr Feelgood were a shock, a wonderful shock. Wilko started out wanting to imitate Mick Green of the Pirates and his style. The problem was this was the late 1960s, early 1970s, no internet, no YouTube, no live footage to study. He simply couldn't work out how Mick Green was actually playing. So Wilko improvised and he got it spectacularly wrong, but in the best possible way. Wilko's right hand produced that choppy, percussive downstroke rhythm. No guitar pick, just a relentless drive. He used a sort of fingerstyle technique that let him fire off lead lines while still holding down the rhythm. It sounded like two guitarists playing at the same time. His battered black Telecaster delivered a harsh, razor-sharp tone. Almost no effects, just a guitar and an amp pushed hard. On stage, he didn't pose or noodle. He stalked the stage with wild-eyed intensity, moving in sharp, robotic sidesteps. And that visual energy later became a blueprint for punk performers. Of course, Wilko wasn't the only force in the band. You can't forget Lee Brilleaux. Sharp suit, the gravelly voice. He was the perfect counterweight, controlled chaos in human form. Despite appearances, Wilko was the intellectual, an English teacher who'd travelled to India on the hippie trail. Lee, meanwhile, was born in South Africa, raised in Ealing, West London, and moved to Canvey Island at age 13. That push and pull between the two of them created real tension. And behind them, Sparko and the Big Vigors were the tightest rhythm sections ever heard. The band's precision is what made the chaos work. If you haven't subscribed yet, it would probably add a couple of decades to your life if you could. You think I'm joking? Well, who knows? And give this video a like if you like it, and share it with anyone you think daft enough to watch it. Right, now back to Dr Feelgood and Wilko Johnson. Recorded in mono for maximum punch, critics said 1975's Down by the Jetty sounded like a bootleg, and they meant it as a compliment. Malpractice, released later the same year, was more polished but still brutal. Producers of early punk often referenced its stripped-back approach. A number one album, and a live one at that, 1976's Stupidity finally captured what the band sounded like in a small club. Fast, tight, dangerous. When Joe Strummer saw Dr Feelgood, he realised this is what rock should be like. It wasn't just the sound, it was the attitude, the DIY ethos, the direct connection with the audience. The Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Damned, Eddie and the Hot Rods, they all cited Dr Feelgood as their major influence. Wilko's jerky movements and Lee's sharp-suited menace became part of punk's visual DNA. Without Dr Feelgood, punk would probably have sounded slower, looser, and a lot more American. By 1977, the pressure inside the band was enormous. Wilko and Lee argued over set lists, songwriting, and the band's direction. The rest of the band felt Wilko was becoming aloof and unpredictable. The final straw came during the recording of Sneaking Suspicion. Afterward, Wilko told me he thought Lee and Chris, the manager, had already decided to get rid of him and were only having him round so he could play guitar parts. Wilko left and soon after joined Ian during the Blockheads. Before launching his solo career. Dr Feelgood continued, and their sound evolved with each new lineup, but that original energy was dissipated, if not gone. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Dr Feelgood remained cult heroes. Meanwhile, Wilko became an unlikely cultural icon, appearing in Game of Thrones, touring continually, and eventually co-writing his memoirs with his drummer's wife. I was lucky enough to know Wilko from 1982 and to work with him, getting him gigs and putting him on at various times. I've made a video about those days, and I recorded it just after he died. Pretty much what I remember about working with Wilko Johnson, and you can check it out by searching for Gym Driver Wilko Johnson. The Julian Temple documentaries in the 2010s introduced a whole new generation to Wilko and Dr Feelgood. Wilko's miraculous cancer recovery only added to the legend. Today, critics see Dr Feelgood as the missing link between British rhythm and blues and the punk explosion. Dr Feelgood revived British rock during a bloated era by injecting it with raw, stripped-back R&B power. They gave punk a blueprint: speed, aggression, honesty, simplicity.
No, you shouldn't have done that, baby. That got me kind of mad.
Their music still sounds modern today, and it's still influencing bands and musicians coming up. And that is how Dr Feelgood and Wilko Johnson changed rock music forever. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Driver, and I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, you might want to watch this one next. Goodbye.